So, it's the new year, and with that comes the New Year's resolutions. I mean, we hear it all the time here. People will flood in for the first 3 weeks of January with plans to go running 8 times a week, cycling 5 times a week, go to the gym 4 times, and so on. Really big, lofty ambitions. Now, inevitably, this ends towards the end of the month, and most people go back to their old habits. Life is a way of reminding us of our limitations, and in no time at all, things get in the way and your new resolution is gone because you simply can't keep it up. Most of the time you won't even notice that it's gone. It just kind of fades away into the background. Now, I had a guy in the shop around about, I think it was March last year, and he was really hacked off because of this, because it did happen to him. He felt frustrated and like he'd failed. He was really annoyed because he thought he was just being really weak-willed. Now, this probably all sounds familiar because for many of us this is exactly how it goes. Now, I myself in the past have had quite lofty ambitions about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that perfectly this year, and it often falls apart in no time at all. So, what can we do to make it more successful? Now, I recently went to a seminar where Sir Chris Hoy was giving a talk, and he said something that I think is really powerful and I think is really useful to you, and I'm going to share it with you now. Now, he was talking about the training and racing he used to do for all of his cycling, and when it comes to making improvements, his philosophy was this: your aim is not to do one thing 100% better, but to do 100 things 1% better. Now, it takes a little bit of digging, but I think that's really powerful. What he's saying is that instead of aiming to do one thing that you want to do in a big way, which can be really difficult, why not try to do the small things that build up to it, because they're much easier to do. Now, let's look at an example, okay? I had a customer in the other day, and she could run 10k around about the 45-minute mark, and she wanted to get down to under 40 minutes this year. Her plan to do this was to go to the gym to build up her strength, run more often, and eat better so that she could make sure she could train as hard as she needed. Now, as runners, we all should do those things, so in that sense she's absolutely right. But 90% of the time, that's a really difficult and mostly unsustainable change. She was going from running 3 times a week to running 4 times a week, and she wanted to go to the gym twice. She was going to stretch after every session, she was going to eat perfectly, and it's just too big a change, and it's going to be really difficult for her to keep that up. Now, in her situation, I would start by looking at the running she's already doing, and make sure that at least one of those runs is a really quality session. So, instead of going out and running for 45 to 60 minutes and just going out there and doing it, I would make one of them an interval type session. Now, it's a much harder session than she had been doing, and it is very specific to the demands of running a fast 10k. And more importantly though, it doesn't actually require any more time on her part. She'd be out running then anyway, so why not make that session count? Next, I would look at her diet and what she's eating through the day. Now, instead of going to the extreme of weighing out all her food, replacing everything in the cupboard with low-fat this, low-fat that, and living off birdseed for the rest of her days, I would look to include something simple like just one piece of fruit, probably as a snack somewhere during the day. She could even add an extra glass of water or two to her day too. So there you have it. There's 3 changes there to her lifestyle that are going to help her as a runner, but they're tiny. In fact, none of them are actually going to take any more time than their alternatives. It doesn't take her any more time to do the run because she's out there running. It's not going to take her any more time to eat a piece of fruit because you have to eat something. And as for drinking water, that's going to take no time at all. Now, the beauty of doing this is that after a month, they're going to be habits, and then she can look to make 3 small other changes. Perhaps she could add 5 minutes of core work after 1 or 2 of her runs a week. She could add some more vegetables to her evening meal. Maybe she could drink 1 less cup of coffee through the day. Apart from the core work, none of those are going to take any extra time, and in no time at all, she's got 6 things she's changed. I mean, you get the point. The real power of this, though, is that you can apply to any area of your life. If you want to lose weight, if you want to, if you want to get a better hold of your finances, even if it's something small like wanting to walk more. I mean, you just start by parking a little further away from work once a week and just walk the rest of it. Now these small steps can add up really quickly to the big changes you want to make, and they're so small you'll hardly notice them. I mean, try it. Just make one small change this week, one that doesn't take any extra time and is not too daunting. In fact, you should hardly notice it at all. I mean, one for me recently was to drink more water. So instead of all the tea I drink through the day, I'd have just 1 cup of water, and it was really easy to do. I'd be taking the kettle to the tap anyway, so why not take a mug to the tap, and at least that way I don't have to wait for the kettle to boil. You know, it's really simple, really easy, and I think you can have a lot of fun with this, because thinking of imaginative little ways to make improvements is actually, there's quite a lot of them out there when you start looking for them. Anyway, good luck with this. I hope it goes well. It's easy, it's straightforward, and you'll be surprised with the results. It's really worth it.